And we are back again on another edition of the Dirty and Driven Podcast. My name is James Deviney. I am your host, here talking shit into the microphone today. This is the show where we bring people to the blue-collar world, teach them how to kick ass. Our mission here is to gain, train, and retain solid, hard-working people in the blue-collar construction industry. We want to see monsters, badasses, and killers every single day. As always, I am joined. Some call him the man. Some call him the myth. In some tribes and cultures, he's even a legend. It is rumored that he flew here from Mars as a child, and his only weakness is Mars bars. I would like to bring to you today my co-host, the man with the navy hoodie and the green hat, as always, Mr. Casey D.
I'm wearing the shirt of the band I'm going to see.
Dude.
So
the one time you and I never promote our merch, we never wear it on air, anything like that. And then like I woke up, tired, and I was like, you know what? I need to plug the merch today, so I'm gonna wear this shirt. And then I show up and this motherfucker.
Yeah, you need to stop pinching and pulling your shirt out like that because it looks like you have high nipples now. Yeah, because you pinched it like about
I pinched
3 inches higher than I think your nipples are. I don't know where your nipples are, but
maybe I've got 4 nipples.
How are you?
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
I had to preface it with my wearing the shirt to the band I'm going to see. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, and actually, you're wearing a shirt of the band you're in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
yeah. It's kind of like seeing Guns N' Roses, and they're all wearing Guns N' Roses shirts on stage.
Duff McKagan wearing that.
Yeah.
There was a movie called PCU. Have you ever heard of it?
I don't think so.
Well, it came out in the mid 90s or so, but politically correct university.
Oh. But
that's where that little comment. Dude, you're wearing the shirt of the band you're going to see. Don't be that guy.
I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing the shirt of the band you're going to see, but if you're in the band and you're wearing it on stage, that's a bad deal.
It had Jeremy Piven in it, John Favreau. Can't remember the other people. It's a good movie.
I did that. I went to a battle of the bands last year, and there was this one band, dude, they fucking sucked. But they all walked up on stage, and like I think they had 5 or 6 members, and like 4 of them were wearing their band shirt.
Yeah.
And it was like all the same shirt, and it was like, guys, what are you doing here? This is not the look. Oh, you're just fully embracing it.
Whew. Starting to sweat. Got the old pit sweat going. All that alcohol last night.
Jack it off. So now whenever we go to post this online, people are gonna be like, "What the?" Good stuff. I don't care.
Yeah, I went and saw a banger of a band last night.
Yeah. Goo Goo Dolls.
And dude, it's just like the name of their band. After the first song, dude, I was fading fast. I was like, fuck, dude, I got to get out of here.
Hey, at least nobody had to be taken off in an ambulance this show.
Yeah, the best part I like about y'all's band is whenever the song's over with.
Yeah, me too.
I was about to yell, hey, play something you know.
It's like how people feel about the Beatles. My favorite part is my favorite Beatles song is the one where they stop playing and pack up and go home. Yeah. No, man, it was good to see you out there. The whole Dirty and Driven crew was present. Me and you.
Yeah. So I was driving into work, or not work. Yeah, I told my wife, I go, hey, we have all the grandkids again at the house. It's a big old melee mess. I said, hey, babe, I got to go in. I got to go into the podcast. I'd love to stay here with the zoo, but man, I got to go in. This is how we earn bread. But on the drive in, drove the old Jeep, man, and it was peaceful. There's literally like dew. I was listening, had my ear pods in because the Jeep's really loud. Mm-hmm. It's not insulated or anything. And I'm driving the old river road by the old Arkansas River, and dude, it's just like, it's one of them perfect feelings. It's, you know how where if you're just listening to something and everything, it just seems right, nice and cool out. I look and there's a couple doe deer that are, kind of running there. I was like, sweet dude. And there was a Tom turkey, dude, out by himself. It was perfect. Everything was perfect, but then something was off. You know what I mean? It was like the most perfect scene, and then something just wasn't quite clicking.
Okay.
And I realized that my Amazon Music, somehow the algorithm sent me a damn Kenny Chesney song. That was the fucking problem, was Kenny Chesney was in my ears, man. And it ruined the whole mood, dude. So I had to go ahead and fast forward it to another song or go to the next one, man.
Save it for a rainy day.
Yeah, Kenny Chesney is today's equivalent to Luke Bryan. He was a Luke Bryan before Luke Bryan.
Yeah. I could see that comparison.
Yeah. That was the type, I think I told you that was the type of shit we'd yell out back in the late 90s or so when we'd go to listen to live music. Hey, play some Kenny Chesney. And the country bands would just laugh. They'd shake their head because they wouldn't be playing that shit.
Yeah. That must be, so I feel like whenever I was...
It's like yelling, playing Florida Georgia Line,
Probably like high school-ish. I feel like Kenny Chesney was actually kind of popular because maybe it's because country music had gone so... I mean, obviously he's selling out stadiums, so like people don't hate him, but I know what you mean. Like the hardcore guys are like, yeah, that sucks.
No,
but
the real true rednecks and stuff, they don't want to. They want to listen to Hank Williams Jr. and the good stuff.
But this was like whenever Luke Bryan and all them were coming out, so I think that it was kind of like the music industry had drifted so far one way that finally Kenny Chesney seemed like he was in that hardcore range. The good stuff.
Ooh, the good stuff. Yeah, that. They have a formula, right? Nashville has this formula that you do this and you push, promote, and you're going to get your Kenny Chesneys and Luke Bryans.
Yeah. I'm not big on that kind of music, man. There's a few Kenny Chesney songs I like. I can't name a Luke Bryan song I like. Maybe years ago, I actually saw him in concert once. I
believe it. You look like somebody who would go see Luke Bryan.
I don't think I went to see him. This is like whenever he was first kind of coming out, But
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I didn't.
You look like a guy that would go see Luke Bryan.
He was with somebody else, but no, I'm not a Luke Bryan fan.
Well, he came out with a song a couple years ago. It was almost like a song to say that people think that I ain't country. Oh shucks, people think that I ain't country. And he had to like justify and reconcile that I'm more country than you think I am.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure most of those guys actually are, pretty country, but it's like your music just isn't. But also,
yeah, when you're wearing skinny jeans and shit, come on, dude.
Yeah, what a fag.
And probably, he's probably going to dye his hair even when he's up in his 60s and 70s. Still dye his hair black. Like, dude, just let it happen, man. There's nothing.
Start going by Chris Gaines.
Yeah. Dude, there's nothing worse than seeing guys that are 50 or 60 with the old. Dude, I'm getting there. With the old wrinkled skin falling, and then they got like the jet black fucking beard.
Well, like,
you know what I mean?
You ever seen Ringo Starr, dude?
Yeah. It's like, come on,
Ringo
man.
Starr looks like a zombie.
Dude, just let it happen.
Work. Yeah.
Did you ever hear Howard Stern? I still think claims to this day, and the dude has to be close to 70 now, that his hair is naturally black. I mean, dude, it's blacker than your soundboard right there. He's been on this trip for the last vid. I don't know, dude. It's just weird, man. My hair is. People say that I don't dye my hair. It's like, come on, man. You've been doing it since.
I think there are people like that have that thick jet black hair, that curly hair. Because like Slash is like that, dude. Slash is getting up there.
Yeah, but Slash has gray and white in there too.
I don't know. I'm not looking that closely at Slash, but I'm just saying, like, you see pictures of him and it's still black.
I'm like, dude. Aging is tough, it's tough to embrace, but just let it happen, man. Don't fight it.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for the day that I can grow a beard.
I was the same way as you, man. And same way.
You just never shaved for 50 years, huh?
Yeah. you remind me of Shaggy off of Scooby-Doo.
Ruh-roh.
Shaggy always had like just
Zoink, Scoob!
he always had these 3 little just straggler little hairs coming off of his chinny chin.
Once or twice a year, I kind of try to just let it grow for a couple weeks. And every time I'm like, God, we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
Yeah.
But it's still just like, this is terrible.
What'll happen is it'll start getting thicker here, but you'll start losing hair up there.
Yeah. I'd rather have hair up here.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
It fits me better.
Yeah.
But I'll just wait till the day where it starts falling out up here. And then I'll just shave it all and then just have a monster beard.
Did you ever see that? It was a deal back in the early 90s, late 80s. It was a show on back when HBO was really cool. But it was a little skit, kind of like a Key and Peele skit. But one of it was called the idea with the skit for guys that were balding. It was called Pubic Hair Club for Men. And so they even had like these little diagrams. So what we do is we take the hair from down here, and then we move it up to here. And then it would show people that had, the hair transplants.
Oh, yeah.
I think it looks great. And they had all these short and curly like hairs on their bald head.
Wisps.
It's like, dude, that's ingenious, man.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Yeah. No, it feels good. Everybody that tells me I need a haircut's all like 60 years old. So it's just because they can't grow it anymore.
Yeah.
They all had. That's the funny ones, is the ones that tell me I need a haircut. But then it's like you'll see a picture of them whenever they were my age and they had the same hair. And I'm like, shut up.
Well, that video I was telling you about, me and the one-man acoustical jam at the VFW,
mm-hmm.
I've got pretty long hair, almost down to my shoulders in that video.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
That was probably when I was late 20s, maybe.
I always tell my wife, I'm like, once it starts falling out and thinning out, I'm just going to shave a nice bald spot on top and just have one of those rings around.
There you go.
You have a hat on, it looks normal, but you take it off, just shiny on top. And just
Yeah. That's good shit, man.
Yeah, man. That's how we're going to do it around here. Oh, man. Daylight savings time is in full effect today. Or is it? Are we back to not saving the daylight, or are we still saving the daylight?
I'm not sure, but we sprung forward.
We sprung forward. I don't know which one this is. Did we do it? Did we save the daylight?
I don't know.
Has the daylight been saved?
But if we were in the state of Arizona, they don't live by it.
Dude, and why are we still doing it?
I don't know.
I want to know that. Every time the clocks change, it always screws everybody up. Like, yeah, in the fall, okay, you get an extra hour of sleep. Well, guess what? I still got to pee at the same time.
Maybe it's something to bitch about. Something to, you know what I mean?
And that's a big thing for me, man. I always say that. You got to give people something to bitch about.
Yeah.
If you don't, then they're going to bitch about something that actually shouldn't be bitched about.
Yeah. What's that deal? Fool them or entertain them with games and stuff and this and that or whatever.
Give them bread and circus.
That way you're not focusing on the fuckery that's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, just so and somebody brought a good point up to me before. They said, they're like, why do we even do daylight savings? And I think it was during World War II. It was basically to give the farmers or the factories or something more daylight. Basically, the workers back home more hours of daylight. And the guy I was talking to goes, dude, you think the farmers give a fuck what time it is? I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, the farmer doesn't give a shit. He ain't looking at his clock. He's working until it's dark. He's up when the sun's up. He goes, he doesn't go based off of, oh, it's 6 p.m., time to go to work. He goes based off of sun's rising, let's hop on the tractor. And anymore farmers will go all night long because they have headlights. But, back then it was just nah, dude, they're working whenever. They don't care. They're like some politician thought, oh yeah, we'll give the farmers more hours of the daylight, thinking a farmer's working, an 8 to 5 schedule. But a farmer's working whenever a farmer needs to work.
I love our speculation because we could probably look it up and be totally wrong. But the kicker is, man, when you, farmer or whatever, when you have your own business, when it's your own ass on the line and it's your own business, it doesn't matter if the sun's out, guns out. Yeah. You're going to get up at 3 or 4 in the morning and you're going to work till it gets dark or whenever, man. Yeah. That's just... When you own your own business, that's what you do to get shit done.
Well, like the old school farmers, man. Those guys, they didn't look at the clock. It was like I said, up at the sun, down when the sun sets. In the winter, it was shorter days. There's less work around. I mean, dude, even like I'm reading a book about Frederick Douglass right now. You know Frederick Douglass? He was
a colored man.
He was a slave.
That's all I know.
Yeah, he was a slave. he escaped slavery, and then he became a big time abolitionist. And he was talking about his days as a slave, and dude, I'm pretty sure that like the slaves had more time off than people now do, because it was just like
Easy.
in the summertime.
Easy.
I'm just saying in the summertime.
Don't say that slaves had it easy. Come on, man.
I'm not saying that easy, dude.
Tread lightly.
No, I'm not saying that easy. I'm just saying they had more time off.
Are they the ones that got us weekends to where we can be off Saturday and Sunday? Or they're the ones that fought for that?
Well, dude, it was just like reading it. It goes, and I mean, dude, he lived under a brutal owner. I mean, some of the shit in there is like almost unreadable that people were doing to human beings. I mean, it's absolutely, you hear these guys that, want to sound racist in today's time or something, the South will rise again, guys. And, oh man, just your racist dudes. But dude, I mean, the stuff that was going on was brutal. I mean, just disgusting, brutal, nasty, like the type of shit that I would say 95% of people today could not witness and shouldn't have to witness, just the type of beatings and rape that was going on back then is just horrifying. But anyways, what I'm getting at is like, even back then, like they knew the importance of like rest and stuff like that. So it wasn't like set work hours. It was in the summer times. I mean, it's long fucking days, tiring days. And then, but like in the winter and stuff like that, it's shorter days because they have less daylight hours. But like also there's less work to do. So it's just kind of like, whatever, So there's a lot of stuff. Medieval peasants were kind of the same way, man. They had a lot of time off, those medieval peasants. But anyways, what I'm getting at, I don't know why we're still doing daylight savings.
Yeah. Well, if I ever had slaves, I mean, that'd be the route you think you would go, right? I mean, looking out, you don't want to work them to where they're just so broken that, if you have a very viable, it's stupid that I'm speculating on this stuff, but if you have a very viable worker, the last thing you want to do is work them so hard to where you break them, injure them to where they can't produce and work for you, right?
Oh, dude, they literally would. So like,
yeah, I know.
No, listen to this story.
But hold on. But what I'm saying is not that you need to have good health care, but if you have these producers, and let's not talk about slaves. Let's talk about work in general.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about companies. Let's
talk about a good blue collar worker.
Yes, a blue collar worker. This is a good deal. You don't want to just hold the finger down on them and break them to where they just lay down and stop doing crap for you.
Yeah.
You want to be able to offer, all right, dude, hey, if you need some time off, you need to take it off, dude,
Well, you kick a dog enough, it's not going to get back up.
Yeah.
But dude, like what you're saying is like Frederick Douglass tells a story about, so he had this master and he learned how to read. And so like once he learned how to read, he was kind of able to, he'd get his hands on like a newspaper, some books or something like that. Well, he'd start realizing kind of the way the world actually was, not just, his world around him and on the plantation. Well, so there was a couple times he'd start standing up to his owner. His owner would be beating somebody really bad, or he'd start standing up for people.
Yeah.
And so this guy said, no, this ain't gonna fly, man. So he sends him to a guy that literally, like you start saying this, literally the guy is just a hard ass slave breaker. Mm-hmm. Like you send, like if you have a troublesome slave, you send it to this guy, and he'll just literally, for a year, just getting the absolute shit beaten out of him. To the point, there was like one day that he was talking about, he got a beating so bad that the dude just left him laying in a field, basically bleeding out, barely surviving. And to the point where he was like, he was screwed, man. And it was a bad deal. And he had to show back up the next day because he had no choice other than death, I guess. But yeah, crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yes'm. Anyways, guys, I thought you were about to do something profound with that napkin there, and then I put the camera on you, and then you just blew your nose into it.
I didn't
Great camera shot.
Yeah, you've done that a few times. You get the flattering side of me, and you leave it in. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, before we get into our deal, I was going to talk about, I had range day number 2 yesterday.
Dude, that's got to be a nostalgic feeling, the driving to the range in your Jeep Kaiser.
Dude,
That's got to be pretty cool.
So yesterday was all my days aren't winning days, believe it or not. I'm not Mr. Perfect, but yesterday was we went to the hub, me and the granddaughters and their little cousin and my wife. We went and saw I don't know what's
Frozen?
that? Kung Fu Panda 2. Mm-hmm. But I didn't see much of it. But it's connected to a casino, so while they were at the arcade before the deal, I went over to the casino and luckily won some money, right? Good movie. Won about 1G, a little over 1G.
Nice.
Good day. I mean, it's weird how money does that to you to where it's just money. Money's not everything, dude. I'm gonna tell you what. I go there and I pay for the movie tickets, the food, the arcade, this and that. It's all good, I mean, I'm there. But then when you have an extra $1,000 in your pocket, that you weren't planning on, it's just weird how it like the weight of whatever is going on. Yeah, it just sheds off. Good movie. We leave, right? Go to the house, and I'm on a high. I mean, I feel good. Dude. I'm getting stuff done around the house, and I think, you know what? Because the kids are doing their own thing, I'm going to go to the range. So I load up, get my Jeep going because it's starting to be really nice weather. Go about 40 or 45 miles an hour over to the range. Get out my pistols, dude, and just everything. No one's ever taught me really how to legitly shoot a pistol except for me researching, like old Chad Wright and those guys.
Watching videos.
There's a guy named Gary Michalek. I think he's the world's fastest shooter, like world record. This guy's amazing, but learned a lot of stuff from watching it. So I went from the first time I went to the range that you and I talked about that I just sucked. Yeah. With the knowledge this second time. And dude, it was night and day difference.
Really?
Dude, amazing. I mean, I probably hit the same distance and stuff, probably 50% of my shots compared to 10%. Yeah. So I've already
big improvement,
Big improvement, man. So it's, I don't know, a good feeling. Left there, went home. Then I had this bush hog deal, and I had a lot of these like trees. This thing will cut down up to like 2-inch trees. Cleared stuff on my property, man, feeling good. And that's when I said I went in and I showered, and as the suds were rolling down the crack of my ass, I was like, you know what? I was thinking about old James. I want to go see James in concert. So I went and saw you last night. It was just a good day yesterday.
Yeah, man.
But the gun range, man, back to the gun range deal, dude. Night and day improvement, getting the reps in. And there were good reps. There were right reps. There were learning reps. Mm-hmm. And I still have a lot to learn, but I mean, dude, I was getting to where I was planking. I mean, dude, bink, then, another 5 yard, I mean, just, it was awesome.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
And to have a day like that to where everything's just right. And it sounds like you covered a lot of ground, did a lot of different things. And that's just cool, man.
You have those days. But, this is what we talked about the other day is you can't have good days without knowing what bad days are like, right? Because you have no barometer of if this is even, you're going to have your shit days where it seems like everything goes wrong, but then you're going to have those peaceful, just great days.
Yeah. Yeah. You have those days where it's just ecstasy, right?
Yeah. And today was on a start until that damn Kenny Chesney song came on.
Yeah. No, dude, that's good. Like you're saying, like something about money, it's just, especially at the casino, dude, like you just win. Like it feels good to just win. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even matter that it's necessarily money, but especially you hit a big win, lights are ringing, the screen's red, and you're like, yeah, baby, let's go. And then you don't have to worry about, dude, I want to go to the range, but it's too expensive, or, it's just, you can kind of go and be a little frivolous for a day and not have to give a shit about money. It's nice.
That was my picture right when I hit.
Oh, yeah. Wild frenzy, baby.
Yeah, but look at
you're on a $5 machine? Good night, son.
But look at the money. Look where it was at.
14, 15.
Yeah.
$1,415. Payday.
Yeah, dude. And I had taken a picture of that because we were getting ready to go into the movies. And I sent that to my wife because she was in the arcade with the girls. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah. And she's probably sitting there getting pissed, like, where the fuck is Casey?
No, you know what I did? Because I'm such a good team player. I immediately cashed out. and I did the old tagged her. You know what I mean? How how you can, like a tag team in wrestling.
Yeah.
How you tag somebody and the other person. I tagged her, then I took care of the girls while they were playing, and then she went and played for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And she won some too. So I mean,
So it wasn't just like you were like, all right, have fun with the kids. I'm gonna go play in the casino.
Nah, it was good, man.
That'd be funny. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad to hear. Dude, that's such a win. I mean, everybody wants to talk about like wins as far as like a business or I got a buddy that every time I see him, he's always, man, share a win with me, and which is cool. I love that he does that, and I wish more people would. But sometimes like whenever somebody says share a win with me, you're trying to think like, oh yeah, dude, I closed this deal, or I got promoted, or I got asked to, you're trying to think of like something big and grand. But dude, just having a good day like that, that's a win, man. And if you're ever like, if you're a person who's in a bad spot mentally, man, just appreciate those small wins like that, because that's a good day. And not every day is like that.
Yeah.
Some days are really, really hard. So,
and I've talked to you about, the older I get, I see that I really understand that I'm not going to be around here forever. So I try to do those. I try to consciously spend time with the family or the kids, or come see you. Really, it's one of those shit.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, in a kind of a small group I'm in with my church, and we were. The guy who's leading it was like, I really liked this. He was like, man, let's set some goals. Like everybody's a group. Everybody set your own goals. And like one of them he brought up was a family goal. And he's like, dude, doesn't matter how much money you make. And this is a guy that he makes. Yeah, he's worth a lot of money. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he's like, man, he's like, nothing matters if you don't prioritize your family. He goes, like some of the guys in there, I'm the youngest one. And he goes, some of you guys, he's like he asked one guy, he's like, how old's your mom? And he's like, she's like 67. And he's like, make a plan to figure, where's she live? Well, she lives in Oklahoma City. Yeah, dude, you got to make a plan, because, you're going to always be busy and never make time. And then one day she's going to be gone and you're going to regret it, and even just like time with your wife. Like there's a lot of guys, especially in the blue collar world, man, you're too busy working, caught up doing it, that you never make that time. And it's really tough. And like, who cares how much money you make if you don't prioritize time with what matters. And man, sometimes that's days just spend time by yourself. Like you did the family stuff for a little while, which was cool, but also you prioritize some time to just be by yourself and hang out and shoot and keep yourself happy.
I don't know, man. I'm hooked with going to the range now, though, man.
Yeah. I
can see how, which I've never gotten into it, but I can see how guys that are into archery, I can see how that would be they talk about, when you pull back your bow, I mean, if you have anything else on your mind, you're going to miss that target 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have to have, everything just fades away so you can focus on that. And I can see how that could be not exhilarating, but, just peaceful. And
oh, it is, dude. I don't go to the range a lot just because ammo's so expensive. And it's just every time I'm out there, I just hear like, instead of hearing boom, 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 I hear ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Because it's expensive.
I probably only shot because I tore down a couple of my guns yesterday. I probably only shot 100 rounds yesterday. Yeah. Just 100. So that was maybe like $25. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
But for an hour and a half at least of time,
it's not bad.
And plus, after I won some money, it kind of helped too.
Yeah. Yeah, but like archery, dude, I love that too. Because one, it's you buy the stuff initially, and then it's unlimited shots basically, and,
right?
And it's a skill too, man. I mean, you get a lot better at it as you go. But I like to set my target up in the backyard, and whether it's been a long day or it's just like sometimes that'll be my workout for a day, man. I'll just sit there and I'll shoot arrows at a target, and shoot 4 or 5 arrows, walk over to the target, pull them out, walk back.
Yeah,
and it's really not a bad little workout. You're moving, you're active, and it's peaceful, like you said.
Yeah.
I like it.
You need it.
Yeah, it's fun. Sometimes my wife will go sit out there and just hang out while I'm doing it, and it's just fun.
Does she heckle you? Try to get you off?
No, she more so just asks questions. Like she's just like because like she to her, it's a world she's never been around.
Why do
So-
you keep missing the target, James?
Yeah. Hey, quit putting holes in our fence and breaking arrows. Did I just hear a dog scream? Anyways, guys, welcome back to the Dirty and Driven podcast. Yeah, Casey and I both wearing our Dirty and Driven shirts. If you can see on the YouTube, I'm switching between us. Identical shirts, baby.
Yeah.
Actually, you got the OG shirt, the little bit lighter colored one, but
Mine might have been washed more.
no, it was a different color. It was a different material. Just want to say, if you guys like these shirts, be sure to check them out online, dirtyanddriven.com. That helps support the show and grow it. Again, this is expensive. It costs us a lot of money to do. As of right now, we don't make any money doing this show, and we're not going to until it's right, until we have the right sponsors, or we have the right audience, or we have the right things. We're not out here to make money off the blue collar people and exploit your ears and your listenerships. We're just trying to help grow the show and make an awesome industry. So we want to see guys repping our merch, and girls, or whatever you are in between. We want to see you repping our merch, as long as you're representing it well and you're making it happen, and you're not being a fat turd wearing our shit, and you're being somebody who's productive, awesome member of society. So we want you to wear them. We want you to wear our hats. We got a whole bunch of different hats and colors on there. And we've got these shirts, and we got black shirts, and we want you to buy them. So check them out. As we said last week, you can use a promo code Dirty and Driven on the website, 10% off your whole purchase. Or like I said, man, if you're in a tough spot in life and you just can't afford a full price shirt right now, hit us up and we'll see what we can do for you. And that goes to all our podcast listeners. We're not advertising that on social media or anything. That's only for you guys that are here showing up, listening every week. I also just want to say real quick, keep sharing the show. We really appreciate it. We're growing so much lately, especially going to one episode a week and just kind of being a little looser and doing what we want to do. We've just seen an awesome, explosive growth. Keep sharing it. Really, we appreciate it every time you guys do. And we've got a topic today that I think is going to provoke a lot of thought, and something that would probably be worth sharing. Might even be a little controversial. I don't know. But keep sharing the show. Keep pushing it. And also, if you like us and you want to support us, but you don't want to pay full price for merch, consider dropping $1 in our tip jar. You can do that on the link tree in our bio on social media, or in the show notes below. You can go down there and you can click that and click just the tip and drop something in the tip jar. Cashola, baby.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang. Oh, dude, before we get into our topic, I got to tell you a story. Sometimes I get the most random ass calls, man, just being a contractor, right? So this guy calls me and he says, "Hey, man, I need a quote for my road." Oh, okay, no problem. Is it an asphalt road? Yeah, it's asphalt. It's all tore up to hell. Okay. So I just need you to come out and give me a quote. Here's where it's at. Here's the town it's in. I was like, all right, just letting you know, man, this is going to be a really expensive project from what it sounds like. Oh, that's fine. You come give me a quote, and that's how much I'm going to sue the city for. I was like, what? Yep. You're going to come out and you're going to give me a quote, and I'm going to sue the city for that amount because they tore the road up. I was like, so you don't own the road? No, it's a city road, but there's been construction going on, and they've been driving on it, and they've been tearing it up, and they ran this water line, and they didn't patch it back, and this road's all tore up, and I'm sick of it, and I'm going to get with me and my neighbors, and we're going to go, and we're going to sue the city for this amount of money. I was like, did you talk to the city and see if they have any plan? They ain't got no plan to fix this road. I'm like, did you talk to them? Well, I mentioned it to one guy. I was like, and what did he say? He said they ain't got no plan. I was like, who did you talk to? This guy is supposed to be the city manager or something. Not, Yeah. It was just this whole deal, man. And I just got to say, before you start calling people, find out if there's a plan before you piss people off. Because I call up the city and I say, hey, I had this wild ass call just now that he wants to sue you guys. They're like, who was it? And I tell him the name. They're like, tell him that he can go and he can dig a ditch in his front yard. He can crawl in that ditch and he can just cover himself up. They're like, yes, we have a plan to build that road and he ain't going to sue us for shit, man. No. You know, I was like, yeah, he says he talked to you guys and you basically told him to go to hell. And he goes, no, we've told him to go to hell, but not about that. We're going to fix it. But now I don't want to fix it just out of spite.
Did they relay that plan to him, though? That way the communication, was all the way around?
I think that's my job. I think they've tried talking to this guy and he's just a smooth brain.
Yeah.
You know what a smooth brain is? It's somebody, you got brains like, people with a good brain. They got the little dimples and ripples and all that in their brain, really shows a lot of thought and good processing going on there. And then there's the smooth brains and they just ain't got nothing there.
Yeah.
It's just they're pudding. Pudding brain's a good one. Just smooth brains.
Speaking of pudding, there's a great Wheeler Walker Jr. song called Pudding. I like pudding. Putting my thing in things I shouldn't. You got to listen to it. Hey, I got a quick story too.
Okay.
I just remembered this guy that I work with, which I guess it's not more common, but I told him about our little plumbing fiasco the other day. He goes, dude, I got a situation right now. It's like, what's that? He goes, man, we're getting a stink in our house, sewage stink. So I had the plumber guy come and, he snaked everything, all the way out to the main, all that. And still we kept getting the stink smell. Well, it just so happens the stink smell was more prominent whenever the HVAC would kick on, whenever the heater would kick on.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this. I think we talked about this on last week's show, didn't we?
Did we talk about it? Oh.
Yeah, the guy that he had a sewage line break right next to the HVAC ducts or something.
Yeah, the HVAC in the ground. Well, anyway, so okay. So if I've talked about it, yes, his sewer is leaking into his HVAC vents. So when the heater kicks on, so anyway, he's got 2 or 3 different options, and oh man,
expensive, I bet.
Oh, dude,
because you got to jackhammer into the slab because he's got a slab house, right?
Well, and they're talking about that was old cast iron drains that he's got underneath the house. And they're talking about just, going with all new PVC, maybe trying to go all around the outside. But then you still have your ducts, your HVAC ducts that have breaks in them to where the shit is inside the HVAC duct to where hopefully you can locate that. If not, you got to rerun new. It's just a big old headache.
It's crazy. Oh, I got one more thing for you too.
What?
Did you see the impulse buy that my dad and brother got?
Yes, I talked to him about it last night a little bit.
Dude. My dad's been talking about buying a 73 Camaro since before my brother was way before he was even a thought, And I've tried to get him to do it. I almost got him whenever I was my brother's age, let's go, come on, let's redo it, And finally, I don't know if he had one of those deals like you and I are talking about, like, man, just, running out of time, don't have time to do it all. And sure enough, on like Tuesday night, my mom was out of town, and it was like Tuesday night, my brother kind of got in my dad's head about it. They went to like Brahms or Freddy's or something, and after a school event, and my brother and a couple of his friends were there, and they were talking to him, and one kid, I guess, has a hot rod. He's kind of rebuilding, and it just got my dad going. He's like, oh, whoa, and then my brother's like, why don't we do it? And he's like, he's like, oh, come on. We never do anything together, Dad, kind of hitting him in the soft spots.
Oh, yeah.
And sure enough, my brother finds this 73 Z28 350 Camaro on Facebook Marketplace in Amarillo, Texas. And I mean, it's like the next day they buy it.
Yeah.
My mom calls me and she goes, did Dad and Jason tell you about this car they bought? I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, they bought a car. And I thought she meant for Jason because he's 15, about to be 16. And I was like, I thought that he was buying a truck. Nope. Or she was like, well, yeah, he is, but they just bought a car. I was like, what, for him or what? Well, it's a project. I was like, what? just so confused. I just had no idea what was going on. And she goes, yeah, it's on its way right now. It's a 73 Camaro. I was like, what the hell? So that's going to be exciting to watch that process, be a part of that. But
That's awesome, man.
it is. I'm happy, man. You know, some guys, man, they work and work is their life. And my dad is like that. His job is business, everything. That's what he loves to do. And that's what he does. And whenever he comes home, he doesn't hardly do anything else. So it's good to have a non-work hobby for him.
Yeah.
You know,
Be a good bonding thing between them two also.
Yeah. Well, and I'll be part of it too, which I'm excited about. You know, it's going to be a fun project for all of us.
Learning experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've learned that with my Jeep. That's kind of what I was telling your dad last night. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, I think the pistons might need it, but I might be looking at it. Dude, by the time you start getting into that, you might just buy you a new just packaged engine with everything, just a plug and play. Because by the time you start tearing into this, and if you're not sure and you don't know, do with the time, it's good to learn, but by the time you might just be cheaper just to swapper.
Yeah, it's a project.
Yeah,
it's a project.
Dude, I got projects at my house that have been sitting there for years.
Yeah, but you have a lot of other shit going on too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like outside of just your job, you don't need hobbies. You've got hobbies. Yeah. I don't need hobbies. I've got hobbies. But like, you know, my dad, this will be good for him. Yeah. You know. Anyways, all right. So let's get into our topic, man.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, we got just a couple minutes, and you know. So this last week was Women in Construction Week, right? And look, man, that's great. Like, I'm not opposed to that at all, but it invoked a lot of interesting conversations of kind of what I see the temperature being. And I just want to preface this with like, look, man, I am all for women in construction, women in this industry and all that, if they can meet the standard. And kind of the line that I toe right now is you get a lot of dudes that are like, I don't want women in this industry. But what they're thinking of is, you know, you're pretty girl, like, I don't want mud on my boots type thing. I don't think that that's what's being promoted, man. I think that that's what the social media shows. I think that people on social media are showing the prissy little, like, oh, I want to be here, but I don't want to, you know, here's all the, but I don't think that that's who you're actually getting in the industry. You're getting tough freaking girls, man. Tough women that most of them that can run circles around men. Now, there's not a lot of them. It's kind of the few, the proud, right? And a lot of people just, you know, it was just interesting to see how against people in this industry are against the idea of kind of letting more women in. And I don't know, man. I just kind of want to talk about that and kind of say some of the quiet parts out loud. You know what I mean? And see where everyone's at. Because I think unless we understand where everybody's thought process is on this, it's never going to move forward or move in I don't even want to say move forward to like where there's more people, but moving in a positive direction where there's a good crop of people, you know, because fact of the matter is, whether you like it or not, the industry is dying as far as population goes. And we do need more people in some way or another. And do we directly market to one people group? No, I don't think so. I think that we actually, as an industry, need to raise the standard. I think that we've laxed our standard a lot, but I think we actually need to raise it to that hard fucking work standard. I'm not saying kill yourself standard, but hard fucking work. But we'll get into that.
What do I think?
What do you think?
Real simple, and we can wrap this thing up after I say this.
Okay.
Real simple. There's pieces of shit guys out there that step into any type of workplace also.
Yeah.
So whether supposedly women can't hack it, dude, there's guys that can't hack it either.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in anything. I am totally anti against checking boxes.
Yes.
Might ruffle feathers, but this DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, my opinion, and people can tune out, is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
You need to hire people based on merit, based on what they can get done. Mm-hmm. If you're black, white, purple, amputee, you swing this way or that way, if you can get the shit done, that's who I want working for me. And I won't discriminate against anybody. Should that be a woman, guy, whoever, dude, as long as they get the job done, that's all that matters. I don't want to worry about checking boxes, man.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
That's
okay,
it,
go ahead. Tune in next week, you all. We'll see you. Bye.
Dude, that's exactly it, man.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Dude, I've got, out here for the pipeline that I work, which I work hand in hand with the refinery. Mm-hmm. There's gals out there, kick-ass gals that work circles around the men.
Oh, yeah.
There's women, there's very capable women out there just as good as the men. So discriminate, dude. I don't discriminate. If I own my own business, right, and I'm hiring people, I don't care what you look like, as long as you can help the bottom line and get shit done. That's all that matters.
I agree with you, man. And I think that's the point that we need to get at, man. I'm not about this whole diversity and inclusion thing. Like, look, dude, same way. Whoever's the right fit for the job. Now, if you're going to come into this industry, man or woman, whatever, you have to know that there is a standard of quality. And like, that was one thing that like I talked to about one of my buddies. He kept like really, like he was real anti on a lot of the women stuff. And I was like, dude, look, man, I've had the pleasure. I've worked with a lot of women in the field. I understand that I've probably worked with way more women in the field than most people ever will. Because, I mean, where we're at, man, we kind of take a lot of different people if they're good workers. I mean, we need a lot of people where I work. To pave a road, to pave a highway, you have to have a lot of people. And sometimes, that means that you're getting women in. That means that you're getting, young people in that don't know what they're doing. You're getting a lot of different people because you just got to have numbers to do this stuff. But you have to have the standard of hard work too. But here's where you got to go, man. You have to go, and I talk about core values. I talk about culture all the time on this show, man. This is where your culture is important. If you're out here and you're pushing culture, and you have a culture in your company, and you have something to hire and fire off of, then it does not matter if they're a woman or if they're a prissy little boy or they're, this or that or the other. If they come in here and they are not a good cultural fit, okay, you bring them on, you hire them, and you're like, all right, we'll give them a shot. And they're not a good cultural fit, it does not matter if what they are. You have to fire them. And a lot of people are scared to fire them because, I don't want to get sued because we fired them for being sexist or something. No, dude, you fired them because they're not a good fit for your crew. And that's okay. All right? Whether they're anybody. Like, there's grumpy ass fucking dudes who we've hired way more. I mean, obviously the percentage is going to be higher because there's a lot more dudes that just apply, right? But dude, there's just been people that you get on your crew that are just cancers. Yeah. And you've got to cut them off. And like, I've worked with some hardworking women. And like one of them, man, she was like those old salty people. She just was meaner than a snake. But you wanted to earn her respect, right? And learn from her. Even though she just was mean. She'd yell at you. She'd berate you if you're doing it wrong and stuff like that. And nobody liked being around her. But dude, she made you want to work hard because you knew that you're going to get your ass ripped if you didn't do it right, Yeah. And that's to say, like, a lot of people are like, I've never seen a woman in this industry that wasn't just answering phones. Well, I have. All right. I was trying to count up all the women I've worked with in my 7 years in the paving business. And this is including times whenever I was on job sites as a material tester, working with other companies all the time, just seeing people in there. But it was almost 20. I mean, I kept thinking, I was like, yeah, around a dozen. But then I kept remembering others that, here and there. And I was like, damn, dude, it's been almost 20. And let's just call it 20, a nice even round number. I'd say probably 14 out of 20 of them were just standout workers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and they weren't bitching about stuff. They weren't going to HR all the time. That's one thing that, there was a meme that I kept seeing going around. It was, that's a funny joke. Now I'm going to HR. Dude, that's not how the women of this industry are, man. They joke just as much as the guys. Sometimes they're even more crude.
Yeah, and dude, don't pull the card. Don't pull the card. There's nothing worse than getting with a work group to always know that you're going to pull the sexist card or this. Come on, man. If everybody cares about each other, they know how to treat and talk to each other. Just one of the guys, just one of the crew, just one, whatever. But if you're always in the back of your mind, people are going to have to tiptoe around because you're going to pull that card. You know what card I'm talking about? Oh, dude, don't just be a good team player, man.
Yeah. You have to, right? And if you have somebody that they're always going to pull that card, I haven't seen it at work, but I've seen it in other groups I've been involved in.
I see.
And, dude, you get those people, and it's like, especially like some of it's like nonprofit groups or, something like that where it's really hard to fire somebody. You know what I mean? Like you can't just run them off, but, or at least most people don't have the balls to run them off. But, it turns into that stuff all the time. You start telling your jokes and you start saying the stuff, and it's like, then you get someone that's like, oh, well, that's this or that's that. And, they're just the PC person, the person who's always like, yeah, you got to be PC. You can't say that. You can't, And it's like, dude, that wears everybody else out, and nobody else wants to be around you because you're not a real person at that point. If you're just constantly tiptoeing around that person, walking on eggshells. I don't like tiptoeing. I don't like walking on eggshells, I mean, even at home, like if there's ever a time where like I know that like my wife's kind of mad at me or something, I don't like walking on eggshells. It's like, all right, we need to settle this and we need to clear the air so everybody's happy again, Yeah. And if you have someone that's just constantly in that state of they might fly off the handle if you piss them off or if you say the wrong thing, then that's just not cool.
Well, that's what I talked to you about before about properly vetting somebody that you're hiring. Hopefully, yeah, they're going to be a good worker, but you want to make sure that they're going to mesh good with your work group.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, dude, because if they are going to be then, dude, that's the last person.
Dude, it's like we get experienced operators that come and apply sometimes. And I had one guy tell me, he said, and I know him. I've seen him operate. He's a good operator. He knows how to run a lot of equipment. But he told me, he said, I ain't going to touch a fucking shovel. He said, if you hire me, then I ain't going to touch a shovel. I will only run equipment.
Yeah.
And I said, you're not hired then. I said, we don't do that here. I said, everybody does their part. I said, there's no just operators on this crew. I said, everybody does everything. I said, you might be holding a flag one day because that's where the biggest need is. You're going to do what the biggest need is. You're going to clean your machine at the end of the day. A laborer can help you because these are, big machines full of asphalt. So people will help you, but you're responsible for it, dude. You're going to touch a shovel. You're going to shovel asphalt into a skid steer bucket at the end of the day. You're going to shovel dirt. You're going to shovel rock. You've got to do this stuff. We'll use the machines as much as we can, and we do. But guess what, man? There's still times where you're going to get off your ass and you're going to run a shovel here and there.
Yeah,
and
there's union people out there that, hey, my job description, it doesn't say that in my job description, so I'm going to stick to this, and I ain't going to do that. You have to get somebody else, and that might be beneficial for their sake, right? Because, they're protected, but there's a lot of shit that I do out where it's not even part of my job, but dude, you just get in there and help.
Unions are hard to deal with for that reason. You know what I mean? Like
unions have their benefits, man. Yeah. Definitely have their, but still.
In the heavy civil world, unions are tough because it's like, whenever you're on a job, and I've talked to some friends about this before, because I know guys that are in the union, mechanics or electricians, or I was talking to a friend last night. He's an HVAC guy and he's out of the union. Stuff like that, that's fine because you're just, you're whatever. You're a apprentice, you're a journeyman, you're all doing the same thing. But like heavy equipment, it's, oh no, you run the scraper, you run the backhoe, you run this, you're a laborer, nobody crosses paths.
Yeah.
And that can be tough.
And who knows too, because you could put yourself in a situation where if you get out of your heavy equipment and you do something else, then you might be liable because you touched something in the ditch. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now your hands are dirty. You know what I mean? You got, instead of, hey, I could have just stayed up in here and now I'm part of this investigation because somebody, mismarked something and I hit a utility that I helped,
I actually ran into that before too. I was on a job. I was working on Forts Hill down in Lawton, and it's it's not a union job, but it's a heavy wage rates, which is basically, I mean, you're basically getting union pay for a non-union company is what it is. And I was a laborer in the ditch. Well, I had worked with this operator on a non-wage rates job the week before, and he'd get out of the backhoe. He'd help me. We'd be doing stuff in the ditch. We're all, everybody's hunky-dory, right? Well, then we get on Fort Sill, and I didn't know the difference between these types of jobs at that point. And I made a comment to someone. I was like, man, last week, I was like, this guy was like, helping, doing this and doing that. And I mean, he was all over the place. He was in and out of the machine all day long. I said, today, he's just kind of chilling in there. And he goes, he has to. Like, he kind of explained it to me. He's like, well, I mean, I was told that I have to. He said, I can't do this and I can't do that. He said, my job class is backhoe operator. And I was told that I have to do it. Now, if there was something that was, a major deal, he'd obviously get in there because he was the foreman. He had a lot of knowledge, but I mean, he didn't really get out because he didn't want to get in trouble. And on those military bases, they really watch you.
Yeah, we've got guys out that do pipeline work. We have CFRs, which I think that stands for, what is it, construction field reps. That they're basically, they oversee the work that's going on. The guy, the laborers underneath them, whether it's putting together pipeline, welding pipe, any of that stuff, they're the ones that manage it. And I've seen CFRs get in trouble before because they've been down there helping bolting up flanges and stuff. And then the superiors will come by and they'll ask the CFR, hey, what the hell are you doing down there helping them? Well, I'm trying to get the shit. No, your job is to oversee these guys. That's their job. Do not help. You know what I mean? It's like, well, shit, dude, I want to get the work done quicker, but no, I got to sit back here and hands off.
Yeah. I hate that shit, dude. It's so inefficient.
Yeah, dude.
And like we had my friend Chad on here a long time ago, Chad Portek, about this time last year, I think, actually. And he was talking about how he went to Hawaii for a while. And I was like, that's interesting. And I said, how was that? And because I asked him, I think I said, why is construction Hawaii always take so long?
Yeah, I remember he talked about the rock or something.
Well, it has to do with it's all coral reef underneath and stuff like that. And which actually made a lot of sense.
I guess coral isn't rock, is it?
Well, it is. I mean, it's hard rock, dude.
Yeah, but isn't it like dead sea animals or something?
I guess, but still just hard, jagged, nasty rocks. And so I was like, so what's up, with that? And his first response wasn't the rock. His response was, oh, it's so slow because it's all union. I was like, oh.
Dude, I used to work for the refinery back in 99. And I went from framing, getting shit done, dude. Come on, let's go. Yeah. So I went out there, I hired on as a laborer, and they took me with one of the old timers that had been there. And so, we started at 7 a.m, whatever it was. So, you got to have your coffee and stuff, kind of get the gears turning and stuff. And about the time you just start to get stuff done, 9 o'clock break. All right, so it's 9 o'clock break.
Yeah, dude.
So now after the 9 o'clock we get done at 9:15 or 9:20 or so. Well, now we need to go. Look at the job and turn in our permit to the unit, right?
Sheesh.
So from 9:30 till 10 or 10:15, we turn in the permit, right? Well, then after that, it's like, let's go get the pink sheet, the Advent, which back then that was kind of like that was like the Facebook marketplace. So we'd go down to the South plant. We'd go get some bingo stuff, just learning how to, then right once we get ready to it's lunchtime. So we do lunchtime, and then after lunch, hopefully the permit would be ready, right, to get work. So you'd get your permit. Now we got to get our tools and stuff, and you just get your tools out and maybe work from 1 to 2 o'clock. Oh, no, don't turn into that yet because our break's getting ready to come up at 2:30 or 2:15. Yeah. So then you take your 2:15 break. Then so then after that, now you've only got about an hour and a half left. You don't want to turn in too much more. We need to get our tools round up and stuff. And dude, you might literally get 2 hours of legit work done in the full 8 hour or 9 hour span. I mean, it's union. It's just milking the old.
I worked for a company that for a summer that it was like that at 9 and 2 every day and noon. You had your 15-minute breaks, 9 and 2, and then you had your 30-minute break for lunch. And it was like every day. But like I worked for a superintendent, and he goes, they want us to require these breaks. And he goes, dude, he said, I'm going to just tell you, work. Just work. And if you need a break, take a break. If you're at a good stopping point, take a break. But he goes, if you're in the middle of something or it's going to stop you from tearing into something, He goes, either, work through it or take a later break.
Yes.
He said, I don't give a shit, man. He said, get the job done. He said, that's stupid. And I agreed with him. And, a lot of times just the nature of the work we were doing, it was pretty easy to take the break or, something like that. But man, yeah, it was like a lot of times I was like, I don't need a break, dude. It's 9 o'clock. I've only been here 2 hours. And, the first 15, 20 minutes, we were just bullshitting, drinking coffee in the trailer. And, now we're doing stuff. And I was like, I don't know. It just, yeah, I know what you mean. And, my wife runs into this a lot. She's an electrical engineer. Well, after they had a big hurricane at her refinery she worked at, and everything was electrical issues, right? Because it all got wet. And she was trying to do just little things. And it was stuff like, oh, well, you can't do that because you're taking work away from the union. She goes, the union's backed up till next fucking year, And it was just, it was hard to get anything done because it'd be like a 30-second deal, but a union electrician would have to do it,
Well, what's tough too is, which safety, granted, safety is priority, right? I'm going to preface it with that. But when the paperwork and the permitting takes so damn long dude, I could have went in there and tore this thing apart and I could get it done in 5 minutes, but it takes 2.5, 3 hours to finally get the stuff to be able to do your 5 minutes of work.
And dude, that's all calculated into cost. So whenever people say why are contractors so expensive, that's stuff that people just got to realize that's part of the job.
Yeah,
it's shit like that. I mean, obviously not to the same regulations working on someone's house as inside of a refinery, but same principle. There's a lot of back end stuff that you don't think about.
Yeah, and you get the places like where I'm at also to where if they're backed up with permits because they got a bunch of crews working everywhere, it might take. Hey, we'll get to your permit and we'll sign off on you to be able to work in here when we get to it. Mm-hmm. And it might be an hour, it might be 2, it might not be expedited, and that's just the way it works.
Yeah. Well, hey, back to our original point, man. I just want to say this about anybody in construction. I just want to say I welcome women in construction. I really do. I want to see more women in construction. The ones, again, I've had overwhelmingly positive experiences. The company I work for had a woman president for years. And it's a big company. It's not a little tiny deal where the guy's wife was the owner so they could get women-owned status. I mean, it was a company that was too big to even get the WBE status or whatever. There was a woman president for many years before the current CEO. She still works there some, part-time, doing a lot of the financial stuff and things like that, and is mostly retired. I've worked with a lot of women in the field, and there's been a lot of women in upper management roles where I work. So I guess I've been surrounded by that. And this is a company of masculine fucking dudes, and it's not PC. It's the most vulgar place I've ever been in my life on the asphalt crew, and I love it, every second of it. And there's women out there that they work hard, they meet the standard, they still let the boys be boys, you know what I mean? And it's a great experience. So I would encourage people to not hire and fire based off of what somebody looks like. And I think most people do this, they don't hire and fire based off of this, but you hire and fire based on the culture and based on the attitude of this person and based on their willingness to work. A vice president of a big company told me not too long ago, I said, you really need to set some good core values and standards for your hiring practices. And he said, that's not what we have to do, James. We have to lower our standards. He goes, we're paying people X amount of money already to show up. He said, we have to lower our standards. How sad is that? Just to get people in the door. We have to lower the bar and get, just anybody that'll walk in the door. And I said, no, you are wrong. You need to raise your standard. Okay. You need to have the standard that you are going to meet this, and we will reward you for meeting this standard. You will get paid well. You will be treated well. You'll get good benefits. We will work with you. We will train you if you're willing to learn. But if you don't meet that standard and you fall short, there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. And that goes for anybody you might consider hiring. Set that standard. Raise your standard, and I promise you, You will get better quality applicants, better retention, and better people. And like I said, if somebody's not meeting the standard, if they're not being a good cultural fit, if they're not clicking with your crew, cut them off. They might be a great operator. They might be very skilled, very talented. But if they are a cancer to your crew, get them the fuck out of there, man.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to run off the guys that actually care. Because those people that are just shitty, sour people like that, they don't care. They don't care. They're there for a paycheck. So cut them off, get them out, raise your standards, and hire people based off that. And if a woman can meet those standards, let her in, man. Don't be afraid of it, because she can probably run circles around most of your dudes.
Well, the military used to have higher standards, but now they had to lower the standards just to get people through the door, which that was all self-induced with the last 3 or 4 years of the shit going on.
Yeah, dude, we're not saying go woke with women in construction. You know what I mean? You're talking about the DEI stuff and all this crazy woke shit. Dude, fuck that.
You know how I've got a ex-military guy that works with us, and he tells me about all of his buddies that have been in there that have been getting the hell out because it's just been so in their face with the DEI and all of this learning instead of learning how to just kick ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I know. I'm on a military side here, but our number one deal is to fucking kick ass. I mean, when shit hits the fan, we want ass kickers. It doesn't matter who they are, instead of, preaching this woke bullshit. So
yeah, no, dude, we ain't here. I know that I posted something on Instagram and stuff the other day, and it came out a little hokier than I wanted it to. But my point was, to the people, to the women who can meet the standard of this industry, who are out here working hard and just trying to make it, man, because they're just like most of the dudes, man. Every freaking woman that I know that's been in this industry, in the field, on the blue collar side, they're just like most of the dudes, man. A single parent or ex-convict, recovering drug addict, alcoholic, somebody who's just got to the bottom point of their life and was tired of just getting paid pennies for shit work at fucking Dollar General or something. They're just like us, man. They're just like you guys that are listening to this show. They're just trying to make a better life for themselves, and they're just trying to go somewhere where they can go. They don't have a college degree. They don't have any special skills. They're just trying to find somewhere where they can make enough money to provide for them and their kids.
Yeah, and there's nothing more rewarding, as I've talked about before, than building something from scratch and knowing that you did it. And everybody should have that opportunity to do that.
Exactly. So don't close them out, man. Don't close them out solely because of their gender. Look at their culture. Look at how they fit into your culture. Look at how they are as a worker. And if they don't cut it, then don't keep them around.
I still think someone coming in saying, hey, I'm excited for this job. Honestly, I don't know a lot about it, but I'm willing to learn. Show me where to go.
Yeah.
And I'll start at the bottom and I'll work from there.
I will say this. I see a lower percentage of women apply. Okay. But a higher percentage of the women that do apply are good workers. Yeah. Whereas you obviously see a lot more dude applications, but dude, maybe 25% of them are any good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just lazy dudes. So, and that's the thing too. Men need to quit being weak. They need to quit being weak. They need to show up. They need to earn respect, and they need to know that unless they take time and initiative, they're not going to be poured into.
A lot of them dudes that are applying too are probably just applying so they can get their unemployment, to show that they have applied to like 5 jobs or whatever it is.
Some of them probably are doing that, honestly.
All right, dude.
But, most people aren't doing that in my experience. I'm sure that there are people that do that, but, there's a lot that you go, man, whew. So, anyways. All right, guys. If you like the show, please share it. If it provoked thought, if it made you laugh, if it made you cry, if it made you yell at your freaking radio, share the show, man.
Yeah, and we're, as I said before, we're an anomaly. We're both showers and growers. So,
yep. All right, guys. As always, do something hard today.
By God.